What's up, guys? Big Wheel Dog 82 in the soil, and it's 4th of July, man. So for everybody out there, happy Independence Day. For all my brothers and sisters in arms, happy Freedom Day. So today we're just gonna go around and look at what's going on here in my garden, whether that be my warm season crops, which are well on into flowering and bulking up and being picked, to some of my pre-cool season preparations, I guess, because it's not that far away, and here really soon you're gonna have to start getting stuff into the ground or reseeding or adding to pots. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna go around, take a look at everything, and see what all's going on here. Alright, so the first stop we're doing is over here on the side of my house. It's the south side of the house, and we've got a few things over here. So there's some comfrey that my buddy the croc gardener sent me, and that's probably the least grown one of the few root cuttings he sent me. I've got some bigger ones that are ready to go and be put into my compost when I'm ready. This right here is one of my two ground cherry plants, and as you can see, this thing is pretty big. It's giving me all the ground cherries that I could want. I think I'm going to start harvesting and saving them though, so I can turn them into a type of jam. At least that's the plan right now. Okay, now here, there's a huge difference between the state of these beans, which are in my self-watering tote. These ones are so much bigger than the other ones, and I'm going to do a comparison with them once I get over there. I might even just do a side-by-side here, but this and this tote, which this tote has my pepper plants in it, and these things are huge. I mean, they're gigantic. I've still got onions there that in both of these as well. But the point that I wanted to make here was, last year I thought that there was some type of fertilizer recycling going on. Since the water stays down the bottom and the soil is there and everything's self-contained, it's got a little bit of a drain on it so that it can't overfill. But for the most part, it's a closed system. And I hardly gave any fertilizer other than at planting for the peppers here, and some fertilization for the onions while they were going through their growth phase in the beginning of the year. But other than that, in compost, that's all I put in. And like I said, the leaves are just huge. The plants are massive. They're pumping out all these green beans so far. And this is their second fruiting it'll be. So that's why they look a little tired. You got brand new leaves coming on that are real dark green. You got the faded ones here too that are the older leaves, but they're just massive. And I'm almost positive that that's what's going on, is the nutrient recycling, because it's able to drain into the water gets sucked back up, and for the most part it stays there. Same thing with these. Now they're huge, and it's not like we don't have peppers, because we have peppers. There's some right in there, if I could get it for you. You know, there's peppers in there. But the point is, if you have any kind of a growth container or something like that that contains all the nutrients, doesn't really let anything leach out like it would in natural soil, keep that in mind, that there's going to be some type of nutrient recycling where it goes from the soil to the water and then back into the soil to the roots. That's going to happen. I mean, we've got just a ton. And there's little tiny peppers on here and everything. They just haven't ripened yet. There we go. There's some of them. These are little snacking like peppers, those sweet snacking peppers. So It's not like it's just all leaves. It's just, it's gonna get kind of cray-cray. I mean, look at those onions, dude. We got onion there, and there's another one in there. You can't really see it, but just trust me. Okay, then the kitty litter, see, the kitty litter buckets aren't always good for everything. These onions are just smaller, but hey, an onion's an onion, and I'll take them. Yesterday, I harvested one of the cabbage. This accidentally got planted with 2 cabbage heads, and I just left them. So, that one's getting ready to be pulled too, because it's just getting too hot. And then all the marigolds that you're going to see around my property, they all are courtesy of another friend of mine, Look to Nature Homestead. So Look to Nature, thanks buddy for the seeds. I'm also going to start some of those rattlesnake pole beans that you sent as well, and the buckwheat for a cover crop, so I appreciate it. Still on the side of my house, we have 2 more kitty litter buckets here, both with carrots. So hopefully you've seen my series, well, I wouldn't call it a series, but my video on how I plant these carrots and why I do them the way I do. Yes, Aaron Johnson, my carrots are still sitting by the compressor. Thank you for, you know, reminding me, well, your husband reminding about it. They will be moved, they just haven't yet. But we also got strawberries here, and these ones are some from the bare roots that I bought this spring. Actually, the big one's the bare root, and the 2 other ones you see there are just runners. So we're filling this out. It should hopefully be filled by time the cold snap comes in, and then I can bring it inside protected, and come spring, they're gonna be ready to go. Now, as far as my fall preparations go, this is going to be a carrot bucket. So I've already sifted and mixed. I always take all the dirt, I dump out everything when I reset. I put it through a screen just to pull out any roots or any big sticks or anything like that. And then I mix it up into here. Then from there, I fill up my pot. This one was filled yesterday, but I went ahead and I wet it down just to sort of kind of settle the soil. So today I'll be moistening the top and putting in more seeds. This is my green stock that I've got loaded up mostly with green beans. There's also some cucumbers down here. We got a little bit of a powdery mildew situation going on with the cucumbers, but they're powering through. And as you can see, not all of these are filled. Now, the only reason that is because I am purposely making the top 2 tiers of this strawberries only, and then the bottom ones will be anything else I wish to plant. I still got 1 empty tier because I just didn't have enough plants yet that I'm gonna have to do something with, but for the time being, it's fine. And as you can see, that bare root strawberry, which I got late, is coming along. So eventually that will populate all of its little runners into that top tray. Continuing on with the strawberry theme, right here we have more strawberries. And actually, so while this one right here is not a runner, this was actually part of a bare root plant, these other ones over here are from the runners from the bare roots that I bought this spring. Again, here we go, some more marigolds. And I harvested that cabbage, as you can see already. Some volunteer snapdragons. I completely forgot, and I had this filled with roots and stuff that I pulled out from my old plants, and lo and behold, there were some snapdragons. So there's no soil really in there, just dead roots and maybe some soil that were attached to those roots. But obviously it's nice enough where those snapdragons are happy and at home, so I can't argue with that. Here's some more strawberries. Again, the big one is from bare root, and the smaller ones are runners. So here is my potato. This is my second potato bucket. The first one has already been harvested, and we've eaten some of them, and as you can see, there's flowers on these, so that means that it won't be maybe a month maybe a little bit more, before these will start dying back and I can harvest and have some more. Right here is a celery plant. It's one of two I have, and it's doing okay. It's not too terribly happy. I think I'm going to move this over to the north side of my house. That way it gets a little cooler. It's going to have a little less sun, and water retention might not be as bad. Okay, again, here's another preparation I've got of soil that's going to be going, but we've got another thing of celery here that will also be going on the north side. As you can see, the north side has a little bit shade over there. I think they'll be happier over there. Next is my third bucket of potatoes, which I started not quite a week ago, so they haven't popped through the surface yet, but that'll be 3 totes of this size for potatoes this year, and that should at least get us going for, you know, a little ways. In this bucket here, I've planted some more of the, what did I put in here? In here I put sugar babies, and then I also added some more cucumber seeds. So the cucumbers are going to be on the outside, and I'm just going to let them drape over. And then the watermelon is going to be on a tower that goes right in the middle so that they can trellis. Right behind the 2 pots here is what's still powering through my Abe Lincoln peas. And they're not happy, but they're still going. I'm going to let these things just keep powering through until they call it quits, which won't be too long from now, but you know, there's no sense of pulling out a good plant, right? Back there, you've got what's left over of my onions. They're starting to bulb up pretty decently. Again, this is the north side of my house, and I think we only get about 5 or 6 hours of sunlight over here during the day. So they're doing okay. One of them is going to seed, as you can see, a little bulb on top. That's fine. I need more seeds. Over here, those are kohlrabi, and either A, the ground was too rich, B, I just suck at growing kohlrabi, but whatever. I don't see bulbs on them, so guess what they're going to be turned into? If you guessed compost, you are completely right. That is a high nitrogen source right there. So either way, I still win. And then if you can see right there in the middle, that's more cantaloupe. And I'm going to be trellising it on my fence here, which I did last year, and it worked out pretty well. So that's what we're going to do. Would you just look at that? That's just awesome. That's nature at work. This is why I leave so many of my plants and whatever to go to seed, because the flowers and the insects that you guys get off of having just a little bit of flower cover over everything is awesome. So thank you, nature. Keep letting your workers do its thing. So back here, it's another sad excuse for a pea tower, and this one is going out, but I'm letting the peas ripen fully and dry. That way when I go to plant from my fall, I can reuse some seed. So that's why that looks like crap, but it's okay. It's supposed to look like crap. Here is one of my paste tomato plants. I believe this is a Roma plant. And you can sort of kind of see that it's getting loaded there, right? So we even got a red one down in there right now. But they're starting to come on. It's in a fabric pot, so that means I gotta water it just about every day. But yeah, I'm happy with it. It's coming along. Can't complain. On the other side of the tote here is my kohlrabi. And again, these ones are doing a little bit better, not all of them. I suck at growing kohlrabi for some reason. But yeah, if they don't turn out, then it's compost, and that'll be fine because I'll be starting that here soon too. In the actual wicking tub, so this is my third wicking tub that I have, is watermelon, sugar baby watermelons right there. So they're starting to grow up the trellis. And then we have some more cantaloupes that are also growing up the trellis. Marigolds in here. And this one is another pea plant. And the thing that is making me wonder about this thing seems like it's no worse for the wear. And I'm just wondering if it's because the wicking bed stays moist and it stays cooler all the time because there's always water there. So maybe that's why it's able to handle these temperatures a little bit better than the other two. I don't know. That's what it just seems like to me. So that is what I'm going to go for. Is that, you know, they're just handling the heat stress better because their roots are cooler. And then obviously next to that is my strawberry tower. And this green stalk definitely needs to be watered. You can see, yeah, these guys are a little limp. We'll go ahead and hit those with a good watering here in a minute. But for the most part, they're doing very, very well. I feel bad. Bad plant daddy. We're going to take care of those guys here in a minute. Then here is some of my just random stuff. I did have another cabbage in here, but that's been harvested obviously. There's my second ground cherry plant that's just inside of a plastic container. And then I have some more strawberry plants back here. Those are AC Windy June bearings, which are starting to do runners, and those will be growing out, rooted out, so I can have more next year. Alright, so the easiest one for me to show off by far is my tomato raised bed. And this thing is filling up so fast. It's not even funny. I've got tomatoes of all sizes and shapes, and it's just crazy how this thing is just taking off this year. So we'll start down here. This is my hashtag Tomato Challenge 2025 plant. It's a big Zac. And if you can see, we've got maters, y'all. We've got maters here. Let's see if we can go over here and get a better shot. There we go. We got tomatoes all over it. Just waiting for them to ripen up. So, yeah. My challenge plant is coming along just fine. This little guy again, here is my Cherokee Purple, which I had to restart probably towards the end of May. And so that's why it's so small. So I'm single stemming it just to try to get the height up so that it can get enough sunlight. But it looks like it's almost to the point now where I could just let it start doing whatever it wants to do as far as bushing out goes. We've got tomato there started. We got another truss of tomato flowers right there, if you can really make them out. So it's coming along. Now this here is a country taste tomato plant that I did start to trim down the stalks, but then I just said, you know what, as long as it's not impeding with the other one over here, the Cherokee, I'm just gonna let it go, and it's going awesomely. It's almost to the top of the trellis too. Then over here I've got two determinate tomatoes. So this one right here is another Roma, and then there's another one here called a Saucy Lady. Both of them paste tomatoes, and as you can see, they are coming along nicely. We've got plenty of tomatoes on all of these, and even down in here, I mean, there's even some that are red, I think, down here somewhere. Yeah, there are, but I just can't get to it. But you know what? I'm going to pull it out for us. I'm going to go right in there and grab her. There we go. So, yeah, we've got tomatoes down there that are... We got tomatoes down there that are coming along. I just need to put this one up so that I know what it is. And then back here we have all of my cherry tomatoes. So these ones right here are Sun Gold. Oh my lord, I need to come out here and start picking real bad out here. Wow, I didn't think I had this many going out here. And then these two here in the middle are both midnight snacks, which are also getting there. Those won't be too bad and too hard to get my hands on. And then these right here are the Super Sweet 100s. So they are nice and healthy, and I couldn't ask for more. And again, this is one of those situations, I don't think it's nutrient cycling, but I barely put any kind of granular fertilizer or even liquid fertilizer on these guys this year. It's mainly just been my compost and then the at planting granular fertilizer, and that's it. And I think I've had to water it twice so far. Other than that, it's just been rain, and that's it. Oh, and I've even got like volunteers here. I think I've got a volunteer somewhere else. I've got volunteers over here by my compost. So yeah, I think we're doing good. And then here's a better close-up of the volunteer that I have growing over here by my compost pile. I don't really need this plant. I'm just kind of curious on what it's gonna taste like, or it's probably a cherry tomato if I had to guess, of some sort or another. And actually we have another one back here. This one's gonna have to go just because I need to weed eat and I hate my fence looking like a mess. So yeah, that plant's gonna have to go. But let me also add, while we're here, for me, anytime I see healthy plants growing this close to my compost pile, I can pretty much almost bet that my compost is herbicide free. Because if there was herbicides in any of the inputs that I have that go into this, they get concentrated and collected. These roots have to be tapping into it. And so without having any kind of, you know, misshapen leaves or just stems that aren't coming out, that tells me that, hey, everything's a-okay and they're loving it. So that's just another, I don't know, side benefit of allowing things to grow around your compost pile, because it should give you another one of those safeguards about what compost you're making and whether or not it will harm your plants before you get it into a bed and it's a permanent situation. So I just wanted to throw that in there. You know, it's never a bad thing to have a little bit more info. All right, so here is my blueberry plant, and this must be another one of those things again that I suck at growing because I can never get my blueberries to come right. Here is a comfrey plant that is well past the time of needing to be cut back for the first time and used in compost, but guess what? It's happening here in a day or two. Oh man, I need to water this too. So this is my blackberry that desperately needs water. You can see that. This is my raspberry bush that's just completely out of control. I need to trim this back to thicken up, make it shoot out side branches, and just to get it more clean and compact. Plus there's raspberries in here that need to be picked too, so, well, at least the ones that the birds haven't gotten to yet. But yeah, another task I gotta handle. Here's another one of the comfrey that I got from my buddy, the croc gardener, and it's in a more shaded location, surrounded by other plants out here in front, so it seems a little happier. It's not got the amount of growth as over on the other one, but that's just because I fertilize the other one. And then there's a third one hiding right up under here. There we go. Well, actually, this would be number 4 that's hiding under here, just waiting to be chopped back for fertilizer, along with this tree here that I have to cut back every year. So all of this foliage here, compost. So as you guys can see, there's a whole lot going on here, a whole lot of stuff that I'm still neglected on, like my poor strawberries and my blackberries. I don't know, there's just so much stuff to think about, and some things always fall through the cracks. So the important part though is I recognize the situation And as soon as I'm done with this, I'm fixing that situation. So many things have gone right this year. There's been a few things that have gone wrong, but the one thing you got to just keep in perspective is there's always next time, or you can always try again, whether it be the same season or if it's in the following season. So I'm choosing to look that way. Like I said, come this fall, I'm going to be doing my garlic all over again with a brand new plan that's going to work, I believe. There's my watermelon and my cantaloupes that should have already been fruiting by now, but we had issues there, but that's fine too. Things happen. But I'm not going to let it get me down, just like I hope that you don't let any of your garden mishaps this year get you down. So, it's hot, 4th of July, I'm going to get off of here so I can go ahead and water those plants and then start celebrating. I hope every one of you have a safe and happy 4th of July. And until next time, I'm Big Wheel Dog 82 in the soil, and I'm out of here. See you guys later.